Hello, YouTube. Look, here's the deal. I don't know if Google or YouTube is just trying to fuck me, or just fucking with me or what. But I do know that this shit's glitching pretty bad, and there is a supposed live video up that I ended about 15 minutes ago that won't go the hell away. And I want to talk something because YouTube's getting where it won't take anything but my shorter comments. I've had that problem for a while. But there was something that I kind of had a little bit of a itch to do, and that was talk about the glow scene that I bitched about a few different times in the past. That I don't like talking about because yes, it's just a TV show, and second of all, yes, it's a larger larger symptom of a larger societal problem. But with that being said, um, I have went through a lot of hell to make this, if it even takes. I've been fighting sunlight, pop-ups, YouTube glitches, and everything else just to make this damn video. So if you will please stay with me. There was a scene on, and not to make this too much about that because that's not what it's supposed to be about. But I've seen YouTube, or it wasn't even GQ really. I'm not even bitching about GQ, but you know they talk about they're reviewing matches from this show, and it was also I've seen this in other places. I know Netflix, who by the way Obama gave a multi-million-dollar deal to in his last year in office. Gee, I wonder why. Maybe propaganda. But it was a circumcision scene in GQ of this kid that we're supposed to assume, I guess, is a teenager. He's supposed to be a teenager, and it's essentially a rape scene. I mean, the kid was pretty much raped by these larger men in this fucking video. So, nothing for nothing, but at least if it was the girls, then maybe you have a fetish. I mean, that would almost be better. But still, no, it was a bunch of larger men in a fucking scene in this fucking horseshit television show that I haven't watched since and never will again, because I don't really see the humor in a teenager being raped. I didn't see it then, and I don't fucking see it now. And it's extremely hypocritical and inconsistent. And I say that for a number of reasons, and not only circumcision, but there's a lot of different shit that you say is inappropriate to put on TV, but then you go and do something like this. And by the way, for you people saying that I'm taking a TV show too seriously, if you reverse the genders, first off, it wouldn't make air, it wouldn't have made TV in the fucking first place. And second of all, if it did make fucking TV, you would all be saying the same shit I'm saying. So don't give me that shit. But with that being said, that is this my opinion, but I don't see the humor. There's no fucking political point whatsoever of any kind that I could see. It was just a fucking really dark joke that I thought crossed the line, and there was no joke to it. It was just bullshit. And I don't see the comedy in it. And maybe it wasn't supposed to be comedy. Maybe I'm just reading into it what I saw it as being. I don't really know, but yeah, I don't think when you're putting what is it supposed to be, a 15, 16-year-old boy in a goddamn scene on a TV show, that you gave no one warning about what it was supposed to be, by the way, and then you were pretty much raping him and you're cutting off part of his dick with no goddamn warning to the viewer, and he's essentially crying in the fucking movie, and you're having larger men do this. So this isn't like a girl doing this or something. These are larger men, and then you're trying to make a fucking joke out of that. Yeah, I don't see the fucking humor, and I don't think it was funny. So leave it there. Then again, like I say about infant circumcision, you do this to baby boys every day. I guess maybe there's a plus of they can't remember. But even then, you know, if I ran out of a mental institution in a rabbit costume and hit you in the head with a dildo and you fucking lost your memory, and you can totally see me doing that, I'm not even sure what the joke is. But nevertheless, would it be okay that I then ran out of a mental institution in a rabbit costume and you lost your memory? So just because somebody can't remember something doesn't make it fucking okay. So moving on from that, because I've talked enough about that. This is from Secular Talk. All the polls declare, or they have calculated that Trump will win the re-election. Then again, keep in mind, these are the same polls that declared Hillary would win the last election. So who the hell knows if he wins or he doesn't win? But if so, then, you know, I've warned about this. You need to be more liberal and be essentially authentically liberal, and you're not. And the way that you beat Trump is by, you know, not being the party of corporations, or for that matter, the Party of Communists, that you find a middle ground and you talk to people on their level and you don't talk at them and you understand what makes people tick and you try to help people. You help people. You do what Democrats used to talk about doing. Help them. And that goes back to Netflix, by the way. If you think about what you did, you allowed a free service, and essentially that's what the internet is. Once you get past the internet bills, they can be quite exuberant as well, whatever what I'm looking for. Once you get past that, it's essentially a free service. Well, you have now turned that into a paid service. Congratulations. You're making less and you're paying more. But if Democrats want to win, how about talking about that high goddamn pop-ups? But if Democrats want to win, how about talking about that higher minimum wage that you know we're never going to get? How about talking about that? But again, the point is it's more bullshit. And anyways, moving on. This is from, I guess it's because it's a Sunday, it's a slow news day. I also looked at InfoWars, by the way, not a lot going on there. This is from a little while back, and this is from the Jimmy Dore show. And this is millionaire Democrats essentially tell, I forget what he says, but he essentially says something to the effect of, they tell the rest of us to suck on it or to stick it or something of that effect. And they essentially do, because they essentially say that it doesn't matter, that the most important thing is to evict Trump. Now let's look at that. It doesn't matter if they meet the majority of our checklist for what we want a Democratic candidate to be. The most important thing is that they just get rid of Trump. And that is exactly how you got Trump, as he goes on to say in that video. And he is absolutely right. We need a fucking principled, liberal, humanist, Democratic candidate. Someone that supports secular government and secularism, secular government. Someone that supports LGBTQ rights. Someone that supports equality of the sexes. And that doesn't just mean feminism, by the way. That means legitimate equality of the sexes. Both men and women should be treated semi-equal. Simple as that. Someone that is anti-war, pro-environment, pro-animal rights. You know, that's what we want. Not someone that is just, well, we got to get rid of fucking Trump. Trump, and again, I don't want him to win again because I really don't want to see what he would be like unopposed in a second term in office. Because right now you've got the Democrats kind of holding him back. And you've also got the neocons from his right. But without them, for all we know, he might very well be a son of a bitch. We don't know what the man would be like if he wasn't opposed by someone. We know what he's like when he has opposition. And I don't want to end up in a fucking concentration camp in a second Trump term in office, because I don't know what the man would do. I like what he's done so far as president for the most part. There's some things I don't like. I did not like him essentially kicking transgender people out of the military. That's one thing I didn't like. But he has not essentially done anything of any real harm to anyone, and he has done some good. But again, that's by himself. If he wins again and he's not really opposed by anyone, who the hell knows what he'll do? And where was I even? The point is, you have to have principled liberal candidates. Bernie Sanders, I think for the most part, is a principled liberal presidential candidate. Tulsi Gabbard is one of them. Andrew Yang is one of them. I think there are candidates like that, and you have to goddamn go out of your way to get those people to support, for you to support, or for them to support you, and for you to vote for them. You have to vote for those people. But you know, it also goes back down to something I think Secular Talk was talking about, is voter turnout. And you know, if the turnout is not high for Democrats like me that are unmotivated to really support anyone, and the Republicans are happy with Trump as they are currently, and the economy is still doing well, you know, you could very well end up with a fucking Trump presidency again. So that's something else that you need to worry about if you're a Democrat. Even an establishment Democrat, if you really care about winning, you need to worry about that. In the military praising the poor, and I'm not really going to add much more to this other than I just think you should go look at Jimmy Dore's video about the military preying on the poor. And they essentially, what they did was they essentially, to give you some idea of what he was talking about, they essentially they got rid of the draft. Okay, so they're not just going to straight up draft you or force you into the army, and I guess that's a positive. But what they did do was they made it so hard to pay for college debt that either you don't go to college and you join the military, or you join the military just to pay for college debt. So the only way to really make it in this society or in this country is to join the military and then go kill other people in other countries first. So they essentially screwed you into joining the military. And obviously this affects a lot of women, but this is also a male problem. Men are the ones largely on the front lines. I don't know if some women are or some women are not, but it's mostly men on the front lines having bombs dropped over us and dropped on us and having to kill people. The females in the military don't typically tend to do that. If they have to kill anyone at all, it's from far away and they push a button and the bomb drops, or they're working in medicine and medical supplies or something else. They're not on the front lines being blown up. That's us. That's me. That would be me. If I wasn't so incompetent and a little bit too old at this point, it would be my ass getting blown up. So that's my opinion on that. And I looked at Alex Jones's stuff, and there really wasn't much to talk about. I might still use his content from once in a while, and I think it's a shame what he became over time. But that's all of that. P666.